Hey guys, welcome to the HVAC Diaries. Today is Friday, March 31st, if you can believe that, and this is my weekly HVAC vlog. Well, spring officially sprung in Vancouver this week. We had a week of beautiful weather, sunny, blue skies, so lucky. I even got out on my new bike this week. But today we've returned to rain and it is in the foreseeable forecast, so it's fine. If you've been following my vlogs for the last few weeks, you will remember that we replaced a 20 horsepower compressor for a walk-in freezer at a meat supplier last week. So last Sunday, my brother and I spent a few hours together doing an autopsy on the old compressor, just to see what we could see. And what we found actually painted a pretty big picture of a series of unfortunate events, it seems. Definitely lubrication problems, which confirms our oil separator replacement and our oil failure safety. So that's interesting. We found 4 out of 6 piston heads to be damaged. They're scarred and pitted, and there's even a chunk missing out of one of them. Okay. Pretty crazy. Actually, one of the piston heads seems to be stuck at top dead center, and we're not sure if maybe there's a connecting rod or something inside that's snapped or broken, or if it's just stuck in that position. We're not totally sure. We found one valve reed completely missing. Is it valve reed?
Or valve reed, replay, whatever.
I think we found the little chunks of it, which probably chunked out the piston head. And then interestingly, one valve plate out of the 3, plate or head, I'm not sure what it is, but that was completely fine. And the piston heads on those ones were beautifully oiled, and they still had the numbers, I guess it's a serial number or some kind of number stamped onto it, and you could still see those numbers. So very interesting. I guess the flow of lubrication goes through that head first and then goes through the next one and then the next one. And as it goes through, you could definitely see the damage of the lack of lubrication. So super interesting. All right, well, we're all buttoned up here. Just ready to go back tomorrow morning. Yeah, that was a really cool experience for me, as a apprentice to learn, but also as a technician just to figure out what happened to this massive piece of equipment. So thanks, Trev. Thanks for that.
No worries.
For helping me open that up, and yeah, very cool. So we returned the compressor on Monday morning. And as far as I understand, I might be wrong here, but I believe it goes back to the Copeland factory, and they tear it apart, they take all the guts out of it, and they reuse the iron body to make a new compressor, as far as I know. So they did offer to do a special inspection on the old compressor, but apparently it would take months and it would cost $1,000 or something like that. So our supplier, RSL, Refrigerative Supply, they've got an internal sort of Copeland guy who's going to do a special report for us. So he's going to take a look at the compressor that we sent back take into account all of the stories that we told him about this compressor, and he's going to compile a little report for us. So that'll be very interesting. We did go back to the meat supplier a few times this week just to do some double checks, mainly because we were driving by and we wanted to stop in just to make sure that everything kind of sounds and looks okay. So the highlight of this week, I would say, is starting up the new pool compressor that we replaced. This has been a job a few weeks in the making. We've taken it really slow there just because it's not a high priority. The guy kind of wants his pool out for spring, summertime. So we've been there like once every week for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Anyway, that's a long-winded way of saying that we started her up this week and we are very pleased with that job. He's got a very complicated system there. His house is basically fully concrete. It's very cool. It's interesting. And he's got various heat pumps for his house. He's got a heating system for the pool water and the spa as well. And then this compressor that we replaced, it actually dehumidifies the room. So when they're swimming, all of the heat that's coming out of the pool, it doesn't turn into condensation on the walls and the windows. He's got sliding glass doors there. So yeah, that compressor pulls out all the moisture out of that air. We did have a few service calls this week. We had one day, unfortunately, we had something scheduled, and as we were on our way there, I sent her a text saying, "Hey, we're coming," and she was like, "Actually, we figured out the problem was our own side. It was an electrical problem, so don't come." So that was a canceled day, which kind of sucks, but it's part of what we do. We worked in some very awkward positions under a catering truck. I was in this little tiny, like mechanical room. And so here are our service calls for the week. have for you this week. It was a little bit of a quiet week compared to our previous weeks lately. I got my bookkeeping and admin done during the week, so that's awesome. I don't have to spend Saturday morning doing that. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to a nice weekend. And next week we've got a couple of things lined up, so that's exciting. So thank you again for joining me on this episode of the HVAC Diaries HVAC vlog. Yes, thank you. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your week next week. Oh, it's a short week. It's Good Friday next Friday. So remember that. Thanks, guys. See you next time.